Hey guys, Khaos, I'm coming up with you a whole new different video. Today's video is going to be a review of the Power Rangers Ninja Steel 25-year anniversary. What? That wasn't planned. This is just on shuffle. And that's awesome. And that's also one of the 25 years anniversary. Now this is going to be the second season of Power Rangers. This is on Power Rangers Ninja Steel. Power Rangers Super Ninja Steel. So, you know what? Let's get into the review. Alright guys, this is going to be super spoilers. So, batten down the hatches. If you guys don't want to watch it, it's already been on one day. You guys are I'm going to give you guys a second. So, super spoiler warning. Like, right here. Right here. Alright, right here, I guess? I'm not sure. I don't know. It should be over here, like somewhere. Anyway, so you guys got your spoiler warning. Anyway, so let's get in this review. So, if you guys didn't see the last two episodes of Power Rangers Dino Charge, and Ninja Steel, if we were doing Dino Charge, would be much more happy about it. But they didn't do a crossover, which was kind of sad at the same time. Nobody liked the Megaforce. No one likes Megaforce. You want to talk pointless Red Ranger? Wow. So anyway, with this with the episodes, they actually had this brief episode where it was like a mini crossover. So some of the Rangers Zords got destroyed after Ultratron makes Megazord using some of these medallions from her past monsters that were just destroyed. These medallions are a lot more powerful and made the Zords super powerful. It's like battling the Dragozord from Power Rangers Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, when Lord Zed used the Dragozord to destroy a planet. This one, I think, is a little bit less, but it was strong enough to not just kick the Rangers out of their kick them out of their Megazords, but it had all three Megazords combined. She defeated them and depleted their powers, the powers to the Megazord, to the point where they couldn't even use their Megazords anymore, and that was pretty cool. So the build up to the crossover so they need to make new Megazord stars. So Mick is the guy who helps the Rangers, be the confidant in some ways, tries to teach them some lessons, which I kind of like, because I like Boom from Power Rangers SPD, the superior Power Rangers. Nobody can ever surpass the Power Rangers SPD. Anyway, Mick is always one of my favorites. He played a couple monsters, which I was surprised about. Also, a side note, he towards the end of Power Rangers Ninja Steel, he actually got to be a Red Ranger. So I'm like, Mick, oh my goodness, I feel so happy for you. You get to be a Red Ranger. I know from Power Rangers SPD, you really want to become a Red Ranger. You were just a Ranger, period. And I have to give it to you. You've got to become a Ranger, and kudos to you. So anyway, Mick tells the Rangers. After Mick uses the Ninja Steel coating from the Ninja Nexus. It's like a throwing star that's sentient somehow. And it has steel around it that's able to melt down, and you can throw objects in it and it will spit out more powers, weapons, technology for the Rangers. So when he tries to when he throws a couple of them in to make the Megazords, it doesn't work because the Nexus needs a show of valor. Now, they were told that by these three people who exit through the portal. Now, these three people who would be soon to learn later, spoiler alert, would be Wes from Power Rangers Time Force, Gemma from Power Rangers RPM Silver Ranger, and Kota, Power Rangers Dino Charge Blue Ranger. Now, if you guys haven't seen those seasons, I have to give you guys a big recommendation for all three of those series. Dino Charge is a fun series. It's just through and through. You can turn your brain off, have fun. It's a fun series. A lot of the characters are really cool. Power Rangers RPM, same thing. And you can put your brain off just a little bit because they have a little bit more of a serious tone, a lot more serious plot, and it's a little bit more fun to go through. And for Power Rangers Time Force, wow, is it? It's a big. Power Ranger Time Force was, to me, was like Power Rangers in space towards the end, and like certain parts was a lot more bigger and grandiose than most Power Rangers have been in a while. So they tell them, and they're wearing cloaks and robes, so they can't tell. So the Rangers, Ninja Steel Rangers, couldn't tell who they are. They exit through a portal, and so the Rangers right now are wondering why can't they use the why the Ninja Nexus isn't spitting out their throwing stars for their new Megazords. So the Rangers, those cloak hooded people, exit a portal, and then they tell the Rangers that you can only do it when you show valor to the Ninja Nexus, and it believes that it's a proper valor. And the Rangers are confused by this. They say, "We're Power Rangers, aren't we already worthy of these powers?" They're like, "Only when you're using something selfless, would you be able to use these new powers." I'm like, okay. I get that. So during the episode, the Rangers do certain things, like help out their teacher whose ring fell down a grader. Helping out this new girl. Preston helps out the new girl that I think she has a crush on Preston. She's a new girl. She needs some help with a science project, and he helps her out. Apparently, since he's a magician, he also knows science. I mean, and some of the other Rangers help out the two Beavis and Butthead of the show. Those guys are okay, I guess. They play the music, the same type of music they play for Bulk and Skull, and they are not worthy. I don't like Bulk and Skull personally because I didn't grow up with that generation of like that real generation of Power Rangers. I was born in I was born in I may have been born in the 90s, but personally I never really seen Zeo until later on when I was an adult. I've seen a couple more, but with me seeing Bulk and Skull now, I'm like, I mean, I guess when I was a kid, I probably would laugh at their antics. But now, so anyway, getting towards the episode, they eventually were able to use the Nexus, and then the hooded cloaks guys come out and say, now you see what you. Eventually, they were able to use their spit out their ninja stars after they returned with the materials they needed to try to restart their morphers. Now, this was legit, these were side missions, but they also had an agenda, because Odie, I'm trying to remember her villain name. Odious, she tried to destroy the Rangers, but her Zord ran out of power, just like Lord Zed and his giant Zord ran out of power trying to defeat the Rangers. It just needs to be recharged. They only had at least an hour to at least get all the material they need to try to restart their Megazord's powers. They also were trying to release the Ninja Stars, but they also had, so they were going to try to restart their morphers first, try to restart their Megazords first, and then try to focus on that later on. So after they showed those signs of valor, they returned and realized that they're in real trouble because their Zord was all powered up. She's about to attack the city, and the Rangers from the portal says, "You guys are now ready to succeed your powers, to accept your powers." And they start shooting out their new power disc, which they asked why we couldn't get these earlier? We were Power Rangers. We do all these amazing things. They're like, only when you guys show actual valor, and not just as Power Rangers, but as individuals. Which I thought, sometimes they can be a little bit too cheesy with Power Rangers, but I was like, this is actually legit a good episode. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like thinking, I hate this, because I didn't like Power Rangers Ninja Steel, but when I started to, turn off that hate, I really started to like the idea of it. I have to fix my hat. I actually really started to like the idea of it. Because this happens a lot. Every once in a while for some Power Ranger series, they have to show some actual valor. It's not just as the Ranger, the hero, but the person behind the suit. And show that they're more than just the morpher. So anyways, just getting the real crossover, that was just only part way of the crossover. So when they're getting to the real part of the crossover, The other Rangers, the three Rangers, contacts the Ninja Steel Rangers. Now, Wes, Gemma, and Coda. Now, a small little thing. Coda and Gemma are from a different universe. They actually confirmed into the power. So anyway, the episode really gets into they tell the other Rangers some other Rangers have been kidnapped, and they need the Ninja Steel Rangers' help to find them. So they go visit Tommy to see if go visit Tommy because he's the OG Ranger, everybody's favorite Ranger. So once they go see Tommy, they realize that he's going to become he's evil again. He's actually working for the bad guys because he's working with the cyber robots henchmen from Power Rangers Ninja Steel, and working with the new villain Odious. She is the main villain for Power Rangers Ninja Steel. She built these powerful arrows that could punch a hole in reality. Now, she only had 3 arrows, so these 3 arrows are probably the most valuable material you can ever really make out of. The main villain of the crossover is Lord Dreyfus. Lord Dreyfus, I have not heard that name ever. I don't think in Power Rangers really history. I think he's more of an original villain for this crossover event. Now, Lord Dreyfus' big plan was kidnap the Rangers, kidnap a certain amount of Rangers, make a robot army out of their powers, and not just that, but they could go in civilian form and try, do little destructions inside their already established Power Ranger groups. Now, I know you guys are going to probably be asking, how do some of these Rangers be able to do that? Because some of them have lost their powers. Like with Cat and Power Rangers Zeo. Nobody knows what happened to Power Rangers Zeo. I don't understand what happened to Power Rangers Zeo. They just whip right the turbo. I don't know. I guess she can still use her Zeo powers. It has happened before. And for Rocky, using the original Mighty Morphin powers from Power Rangers Mighty Morphin. Also, Rocky, you suck and I hate you. Hashtag Jason for life. Woo! If you guys disagree with me, then you guys are idiots. Rocky is a waste of air. Nobody cared about Rocky. Power Rangers, Jason. Jason, you're the best, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows you were supposed to be #1! So anyway, he was able to use use his Mighty Morphin powers as well. And for Dino Thunder, Trent is actually able to use his Dino gem as well. So to get through the crossover, they go to these pocket, I guess it's like a pocket dimension where the main villain, Lord Dreyfus, really hides. He kidnapped a certain amount of the Rangers, and he's just cloning a lot of them, cloning the Rangers' memory, fighting style, and their powers. Now, the only good way to actually tell they're not the actual legit Rangers, they had these shoulder pads. It has screws coming out of it so you can tell which one's which every time they morph. Now, Tommy, a little side note about Tommy. Tommy was captured earlier on in the crossover, and they used Tommy to help kidnap some of the other Rangers, which makes sense since Tommy is the oldest Ranger in history, and everybody would trust Tommy automatically since he's been friends with at least half of them. So anyway, Tommy actually has a kid. JJ, apparently. I'm like, what? And he's got to be at least 10 or 9 years old. I just did the math in my head because I'm smart. You see it, and I'm like, wow. And so they captured Tommy first because, he's the first Ranger and he has the most power. Since he's been back-to-back changes to different powers. It seems like they're only able to use his Mighty Morphin his Dino Thunder power from Dino Thunder. Which I don't understand how you can pick and choose his specific power setting, because some of them can't even use their original powers anymore. Some of them even lost their powers. It's just little continuity errors that really start to get to you when you really start to think about it. So anyway, back to the crossover. They go inside Lord Dreyfus' place. Some of the Rangers went to get the dimensional rifting arrows. Now these dimensional rifting arrows have special capabilities. So once you shoot one in the air, that's enough to at least shatter, at least a good opening. But you have to wait till the sky turns red, has like a red aura around it, so you're able to shoot the second arrow. You need to at least shoot 2 arrows to punch a hole in reality for good. Because it's only like it's like a small crack, and you need something like a big punch to really get the actual open, to get the reality, all that open. So anyway, also side, I don't know if I mentioned this before, Time Force actually made these these portals to go into different realities to help some other Rangers if they need it. So I guess that's what they were using in Power Rangers Mega Force when some of those other Rangers were needed help. Because if they're part of the main continuity, dear Lord, there's so many continuity errors. Wow. Also, small benefit, small little thing. Certain Rangers' identities are known, like Tommy Oliver. How? Tommy Oliver's identity is the most secret ever. Like, nobody even know. Like, you have to be like really close knit with some old Power Rangers to at least know who Tommy Oliver is. He's like a Batman, and like there was this. I don't know if you guys watched the Batman. There was this episode where it was in the future. Batman's secret identity was so secret nobody even knows who he is to that day. And that was like at least 10,000 years in the future. Nobody even knows who he is. And that's how I feel like it should have been for like Tommy. People were like, personally I should have been like, wait, who's Tommy? I never heard Tommy. And they were like, Tommy's the most legendary Power Ranger ever to even use the Morphers. Because he's been a repeat Power Ranger for so many years. He's came back again and again, and everybody loves Tommy because he's a fan favorite. So anyway, back to the crossover. And they break into Lord Dravis. The Ninja Steel Rangers tried to steal the arrows. They failed. Lord Dravis is about to use the other arrows. While Tommy and the other group of Rangers break into the that feels good. Break into his main laboratory where he's keeping the Rangers. Personally, I would have more security because it didn't seem like they had a lot of security. They had some security, but I'm just like, I'm locking that thing up to like a bazillion locks. That thing's nobody's getting out of there. So eventually the Rangers get in, and they freed all the other Rangers they had. Now, for give you guys like a brief summary of who some of those Rangers are. You got TJ from Power Rangers in Space using those powers without Turbo. You got Rocky from Power Rangers Mega Mighty Morphers. And you got Gia from Power Rangers Mega Force. You got the Gold Ranger from Power Rangers Samurai. I forgot his name. I forgot to look it up. And you got Trent, the White Ranger from Power Rangers Dino Thunder. And then you got Kat from Power Rangers Zeo, using her Zeo powers. And then you have TJ from Power Rangers in Space using those powers. I think I got all of them. Meant to rewatch the crossover again. And you know what? I'm going to give you guys, tell you guys, it's a good crossover. It's not bad. It's really good. But it's bogged down by some continuity errors, some weird storylines. It's just bogged down by certain stuff like that. It's bogged down. But if you could turn your brain off and say and just go with what they're trying to do, because it looks like they really tried harder to do this. So I turned my brain off because I have a hate for stuff, and I realize that I have to sometimes turn my brain off because sometimes my brain just goes overdrive. I'm like, oh my goodness, it makes no sense. But so you have to realize sometimes this wasn't made for you. It was made for our kids. So you have to think like that. It is a really hard thing to do. And I still have to sometimes force myself to think, this is for kids. Sometimes you gotta think what would a kid think? What would a producer, a grow-behind man, would think what a kid would like? That's sometimes you have to act like. So anyway, during the cross, after Tommy freed the other Rangers, the Ninja Steel Rangers are trying to destroy Dreyfus before they use the arrows. And they're about to morph when Dreyfus unleashed his whole army of Power Rangers. Now these are all the Rangers they drained from the actual Power Rangers that they captured. and it's a whole army of them. It is like wow. And so the Rangers are ready for battle until the other Rangers teleport to their side, and it's time for morphing time. So what time is it? It's morphin' time. So after the Rangers completely destroy the bots, it seemed like the bots have like the cursory of how to use their powers, but not fully know how to use their powers. And after Tommy defeats his robot clone that they used to capture all the other Rangers, he said like, you don't have the heart of a Ranger. I was like, oh, like because you're a robot. I was like, what? Racist! Racist against robots. You mean robot Power Rangers are out there? There's a couple. Power Ranger Megaforce. Power Rangers Overdrive. Well, I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it. That would be more Rangers. Well, this is awkward. Da 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 da. So anyway, they defeat all his army, and Lord Dravis was able to grow big because Miss Odious was able to shoot a beam to make him grow. He shoots the last arrow because the whole sky is now red. And before he could do that, Tommy uses Falcon powers. Uses Falcon and Power Ranger Ninja powers from Power Rangers Mighty Morphin Season 2 when he was a White Ranger, but they're using their Ninjetti powers. So he used his Falcon Zord to able to get the arrow and redirect it towards him, and while the Rangers were distracting him with their blasters. The crossover was decent. Not my favorite. Here's why I say that. A couple things. One, the team they use. Personally, I think they should have just used the Dino Charge Rangers. The Dino Charge Rangers have way more, because there's so much work with it. They actually had Lord Sledge do a mini crossover with these Rangers, which I was like, oh my goodness, I love Lord Sledge. That's probably where he went when they tried to destroy him. He got sent to an alternate reality. I wish they did that. Lord Sledge came back, the Rangers can't handle it all by themselves, and then boom, Tyler shoots him with the Dino Charge blaster, and then they have their crossover. A 3-parter. That's all I ask. A 2-parter. Please. I mean, it's Power Rangers. With the crossover, they had to have at least a 2-parter. For this episode, this was a one-parter. I mean, technically it's a 2-parter if you count that one previous episode I gave you like a brief cursory about. But it's technically just a brief, just a 2-parter. And also, Time Force Rangers. Are they still jumping in and out of their timeline? Personally, I think it's a lot more dangerous because what happens with Time Force, because Time Force takes place in the year 3000 and Power Rangers SPD takes place in Power Rangers year 2025. So my question is, did Time Force mess up the timeline and the fact that they gave birth to Power Rangers SPD and able to fix like the mutation problems before it happened in Time Force in the Time Force universe where they are supposed to be like cops too, which SPD seems to be a lot. It's just that little thing, stuff like that really starts to irks me, and able to use build a portal device to pop into alternate realities. How do you guys even know there's other realities? Who told you guys? How do you even know? Maybe you guys did some science, but personally, there's like says like with every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. That's like one of the most basic things said by Sir Isaac Newton. And I guess they use that as a truth, but punch a hole in reality, that's super dangerous. And that's probably when they learned about Lord Dreyfus and what was his plan to use. Because it looks like TJ and a couple other Rangers knew about Lord Dreyfus and were keeping an eye on Lord Dreyfus. I guess Lord Dreyfus was probably a threat, so they were keeping an eye on him. In this world, you gotta keep both eyes open, pal. Captain America, Winter Soldier. So for the crossover, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Not the best crossover, but not the worst. I mean, it's better than Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. And that one has its flaws. But for this, it's way better. It has good fighting sequence, a lot more fighting sequence than I thought like any Power Rangers series ever had. They had some wire fu going on and some CG going on, but they had a little bit more. It was a lot more grounded than most crossovers has ever been, because most crossovers trying to one up each other, like with the Dino Thunder or with trying to think of a good one with Time Force. It's just certain ones that are always trying to one up themselves with new and different crossovers. So this one's a lot more grounded and try to connect the continuity, which I do love when they're trying to string together the continuity little threads. And it's big, it's loose, and it's hard to try to connect all of the continuity errors. And it happens when it keeps changing from different hands, from Fox to Disney to Nickelodeon, and I really hope Pirates of Meg Beast Morphers is good. I really hope, because they released their cast, and I just hope that the season is good. Now, I guess that's the end of the video, and I just want to tell you guys for watching, and please watch one of my other videos. Watch the my review of the Power Rangers Ninja Steel for season 1, and that's gonna be I guess it's gonna be part of the video. I guess over here or somewhere down here. So cause last time I tried to do like over here, couldn't do it, get that working. So I tried to, it didn't get it working. So I'm like maybe like down here or something. Boom, 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 boom. Maybe that will work. I don't know. Sometimes YouTube's weird. I don't know. Please watch and like.